SpaceX has sent another 49 Starlink satellites into orbit, despite criticisms of the company that it is clogging up space with its equipment. Elon Musk's firm launched its 35th batch of Starlink satellites on a Falcon 9 rocket from Kennedy Space Center, Florida at 1649 EST Thursday, January 6th. Deployment of the 49 Starlink satellites on board, which are each about the size of a table, was confirmed 1 hour and 20 minutes after liftoff. It sounds interesting. Hello and welcome to Elon Musk Tube. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell to get updated with technology trends. We bring you the video related to the launch of 49 Starlink satellites, so stick till the end. Starlink is a constellation of more than 1,800 satellites that aim to provide internet access to most of the Earth, particularly underserved rural areas. As part of the beta service, Starlink Internet is already available in 23 countries around the world, including the UK. However, next-generation Starlink constellations could have a whopping 42,000 Starlink satellites in low Earth orbit, Musk hopes. About 9 minutes after Thursday's liftoff of the latest batch, SpaceX landed Falcon 9's first stage on one of the SpaceX's drone ships in the Atlantic Ocean, the elaborately titled A Short Fall of Gravitas. Weather forecasters at the 45th Space Delta predicted ideal weather conditions for liftoff, and Mother Nature did not disappoint. It was a crystal-clear day here in Florida, and the rocket could be seen throughout its climb through the atmosphere, disappearing from sight when its first stage separated and began the trek back to Earth. Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Launch Complex 39 at Kennedy Space Center, carrying our stack of 49 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit, SpaceX engineer Jesse Adderson said during the launch broadcast. The recovery vessel catches fallen boosters and returns them to port to save on costs. Deployment of 49 Starlink satellites confirmed, SpaceX tweeted. Falcon 9's first stage has landed on a short fall of gravitas drone ship. Musk himself also confirmed deployment of the Starlink satellites with lasers, which routes data between individual satellites in the constellation. Nearly 2,000 Starlink satellites have been launched into space since the first couple in February 2018. However, many have been decommissioned or have since failed. As of Thursday, there are 1,824 Starlink satellites in orbit that are now working, including this latest batch. The launch comes only days after high-profile criticism of the firm that its Starlink satellites are hogging space, leading to near collisions. Late last month, Musk was blasted by China over two close encounters between his satellites in Beijing's new space station, Chang'e. Chang'e had to perform evasive maneuvers to prevent a potential collision with two Starlink satellites launched by SpaceX on July 1st and October 21st, the Chinese government said in a December 6 complaint to the UN. China accused the U.S. of ignoring its space treaty obligations to protect the safety of the Chang'e station's three-member crew after the two near misses. Musk has since said that tens of billions of spacecraft can orbit close to Earth and rubbish claims that his firm is squeezing out rivals in space. Space is just extremely enormous, and satellites are very tiny, Musk said. This is not the same situation where we're effectively blocking others in any way. We've not blocked anyone from doing anything, nor do we expect to. Musk argued that each satellite orbits Earth in its own shell, essentially a pathway around Earth at a certain fixed altitude that has a bigger diameter than Earth itself. He compared this to the density of 2 billion cars and trucks that cover only a fraction of the Earth's surface. That would imply room for tens of billions of satellites, Musk said. A couple of thousand satellites is nothing. It's like, hey, here's a couple of thousand cars on Earth. It's nothing. However, one astrophysicist rubbished the billionaire's comparison, saying that spacecraft traveling at 17,000 miles per hour need far greater separation than road vehicles to prevent a potential collision. For many space users, planning on avoidance maneuvers is at least hours, if not days, so this suggests space is already too crowded, said Jonathan McDowell at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center of Astrophysics. What's more, calculating the trajectory of many different satellites can be affected by changes in solar weather, McDowell said. He added that evasive maneuvers are becoming more frequent as more objects crowd into near-Earth orbit, and force course adjustments to reduce the risk of crashes. We've really noticed the increase in the number of close passes since Starlink started getting deployed, he said. Any collision between Chang'e and the Starlink satellite would likely completely demolish the space station and kill everyone on board. Josef Aschbacher, head of the European Space Agency, has also said that Musk was making the rules for the new commercial space economy. However, Laura Forsiak, a space analyst at space counseling group Astrolytica, said that the criticism of Starlink was based on emotion, not facts. I have to wonder if similar complaints were made when certain airlines started flying more planes on set routes. No one owns the skies, and all are free to use them, she said. China launched Tianhe, the main section of what will be a permanent space station called Tianyang Space Station, back in April. Tianyang, meaning Heavenly Palace, will rival the aging International Space Station, or ISS, which is operated by the space agencies of the US, Canada, Russia, Japan, and Europe. Thursday's liftoff kicks off another action-packed year for the California-based aerospace company. In 2021, SpaceX set a new record for most launches in a single year at 31. The company also launched a total of 12 astronauts on 3 Crew Dragon missions, including 4 private citizens who flew as part of the Inspiration 4 mission. SpaceX will try to keep up its rapid launch cadence this year as the company continues to expand its ever-growing internet constellation. Also on deck this month is the company's 3rd dedicated rideshare mission, which is devoted to launching a multitude of small satellites into orbit. Thursday's flight continues SpaceX's efforts to expand and upgrade its burgeoning Starlink internet constellation, marking the 35th dedicated Starlink launch since 2019. This launch brings the total number of flat-paneled Starlink satellites up to almost 2,000. It also continues the company's efforts to launch newly upgraded satellites in an effort to enable those satellites to communicate with each other. The company equipped them with special laser links. This way, the satellites can communicate more effectively without having to rely on ground relays. This launch will also feature a slightly different trajectory than normal, with the rocket flying southeast from the coast of Florida, as opposed to the typical northeast path that recent missions have taken. As such, it will have to fly just north of the Bahamas to avoid flying over any populated areas. That's because SpaceX is targeting a parking spot a few hundred miles above the Earth, at an inclination of 53.2 degrees, one of 5 orbital shells that the company is working to fill with roughly 4,400 satellites. Starlink's overarching goal is to connect people around the globe, particularly those in rural and remote areas who have little to no connectivity. To date, the service is fully operational and available in 20 countries, and that number keeps rising, with more than 100,000 subscribers. Company officials have said that the program is continuously growing. In 2015, SpaceX changed the rocket game by recovering its first-stage booster. That success was thanks to a series of upgrades the company provided to its workhorse Falcon 9, featuring a more robust thermal protection system, titanium grid fins, and more durable interstage, the part that connects the rocket's 2 stages. The souped-up Falcon 9 rocket we see today is capable of flying many times over. As such, the company heavily relies on a fleet of used rockets to deliver its many payloads into space. This mission is no different. A shortfall of gravitas is SpaceX's newest drone ship. The highly anticipated ship was added to SpaceX's fleet in 2021, bringing the total number of drone ships up to 3. These massive ships are crucial components in SpaceX's grand scheme of reusability and ultimately enable them to fly more rockets. That said, this is it for today's video. So what is your take on this matter? Tell us in the comments. If you want to see our upcoming videos, ring the bell icon, and don't forget to like our video as well. That's all from my side. Thanks for watching.